Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Mitch. How are you, sir, on this beautiful Monday morning? Oh, thank you guys for coming along. I just thought I'd go live a little bit this morning, waiting on the ladies to wake up. And then we're going on a family adventure this Monday. Probably going to go to the beach today. Uh, I got all the ladies their snorkel mask, their full face snorkel mask. So we all have our own snorkel mask now, and we really enjoy that. Mr. Mitch, can you hear me okay? Oh, shoot. I'm kind of charging up all of my devices this morning. I'm good. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I had a few scrapes from the jungle hiking waterfall adventure. I was the only one that got an injury, but nothing too severe. It's healed up. 5 by 5. Thank you, Mr. Mitch. Thank you. Yeah, I just want to go live this morning and let everybody know that we are doing very, very well. I haven't been to the open mic bar this week. We're actually expecting an inspection by the Thai government in regards to the final procedures. David Kennedy, good morning. Good morning. So, as part of the inspection, because it involves the Ministry of Labor, and I've applied for a 2-year work permit as the general training manager. And, I'm 49% shareholder in the business. So we were advised that what they like to do on the inspection, they like to come in and interview our employees as well as my wife, and then they'll call to have me come down or whatever if they want me to come in. But anyway, it's the final stages of the last documentation through the Thai government, and they do an inspection and check for mask and check for sanitation and check, for fire extinguishers, and we've got everything ready to go, but there was a backlog in the system with the Ministry of Labor here in Rayong. Thank you, David. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Guys, I really appreciate the encouragement. It was an outstanding day, and we want to go back there and stay in one of those cabins. I'm not much of a tent camper anymore, although we are at the dry season, and the weather's really pleasant at night. I mean, you don't need air conditioning at night. Right now, if you've got a fan going, you're good with the windows open. So, really beautiful time of year to do some camping. But my old crippled, painful rear end likes to sleep on a bed, so I'm not too good on sleeping on the ground. But we do want to go back and stay in one of those cabins because, it's a pretty good hike. And uh, although we were prepared and everything, if you really want to enjoy and go down and see all the different falls, because there's so many different areas that you can go off the trail and go down to the private swimming areas with the waterfalls, you really need a lot of time. So the ideal way would be to stay the night, go out there like on a Sunday night, stay the night and get up early in the morning, have breakfast, and then take your lunch with you, right? It would really, really be nice. Beautiful, beautiful area. It's the first time we've been out there, but I just kind of wanted to highlight what Rayong province has to offer. We're not just a beach area. We actually have the mountains and the waterfalls, and there's just so many things about this province to see and do. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Uh, I uploaded that first jungle hiking video off my cell phone so that I could get that out as quickly as I could, and then the rest of it was GoPro footage that I edited and uploaded for you. So anyway, it's a great trip. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But to finish up, in regards to the business, Normally, they have two inspection teams here in Rayong at the Ministry of Labor. And for whatever reason, probably due to the situation of the pandemic and stuff, they're kind of shorthanded this year. They only have one inspection team. So we were expecting them this week. It didn't happen. So this this week now, we were expecting them last week. It didn't happen. But this week, I'm sure we'll get through that final process. So after I get my work permit issued, then I'll be able to start training people on the restaurant end of the deal, and we're ready to go for American breakfast and dinner specials, and start kind of adding more to the venue rather than just a nightclub that we've been for the first couple of months. We've just been a nightclub with an appetizer menu, and of course I haven't been able to work. I just go there and hang out, mingle with the customers, sing some songs, all that kind of stuff that you can do as a patron. That's no problem. But anyway, that should be finished relatively soon. And then, I'm really looking forward to being there early mornings and getting the coffee going and start serving some people some breakfast, some really good eggs to order with bacon and sausage and pancakes and omelets and French toast, that kind of stuff. So it's weird, on my first jobs as a kid, because my mother was a manager of a restaurant, uh, was in the restaurant business. Started out as a bus boy, dishwasher, and worked my way into a short order fry cook. So it's kind of like life's come full circle after all these years and all the different trades that I've been involved in. Now I'm going to go back to being a fry cook. So, but the whole purpose is to train people, up to the standards that we expect in the West. And if I can accomplish that, then I think it's going to add a lot. But I wanted to let you guys know that the business has actually done well. We just closed the books on October. Wasn't a huge profit, but covered all of the overhead, paid the rent, paid all the bills, took care of the girls' salaries and stuff. So nothing to complain about. They're really not. We've done well. So once we add more of a restaurant, kind of get it leveled out where we're just not solely a nightclub with music and cocktails and appetizers, right? We actually have more of a restaurant thing going on. And then, Friday, Saturday nights, we want to do like the all you can eat barbecue style buffets, which is really popular here in Thailand. You got the Thai style and the Farang style food. So slowly but surely, right? But thank you guys for coming along. I just wanted to update you on that. Progress is coming along. And of course, I got to smoke with my coffee in the morning. So if there's any children watching, please don't smoke. It's a terrible habit. I'm going to try to make a New Year's resolution. I've cut way down and quit a couple times and then went a few days and stress levels got high and I started smoking again. I'm sure you guys that have experience with it know how addicting it is and how difficult it is to quit psychologically. That's the problem. Uh, you've got to really have a lot of willpower to overcome. So let me catch up. David Kennedy, love bush camping, but now getting down to the sleeping bag on the ground and getting back up is not as easy as my younger days. Exactly right, David. I'm the same way. I used to love that, primitive style camping and just going out there with the bare essentials, but, I know you guys watched the last video there. There's some really, really nice cabins up in the woods and absolutely beautiful setting, just absolutely gorgeous. So, I'm sure the weekends probably get pretty busy out there, but through the week, like what we do, it'd be great, waking up early morning out there and stirring up some breakfast and then packing all the bags. And now that we know the difficulty of the trail, you guys saw some of it. Obviously, I couldn't film the whole thing, but that's pretty treacherous parts of it. So we need to be better equipped and take our swimming gear with us, but actually, have some good hiking boots and pants, long pants for the journey is probably a better idea now that we know what the terrain is like. But yeah, David, I'm right there with you, buddy. Right there with you. Matt Watts, good morning, Triple T. I have been keeping up with your videos and the opening of the bar. I just finished my last day of work last week in aerospace. Wow, amazing. And I'm planning to spend the holidays with family. Outstanding, Matt. You know, there's nothing more important than family, guys. I miss my daughters and grandkids so much back home, as well as my sisters and brothers. And, you know, we were planning on that trip this year and really get caught up and spend a lot of quality time with family back there. And that didn't happen. But as a father of four daughters, now that I've got Sarah and Jam here, you know, it kind of feels like more like a family. We're definitely a family, and you know, they're not just employees, or you know, they really are family, and they help tremendously here at the house as well. I mean, it's great. It's great. There's nothing more important than family. Thanks for that, Matt. And I'm glad to see that you're going to be able to spend more time with your family, and looking forward to the holidays. That's great. That's great. Glad you came along. Move to Asia next year. I am hoping to be able to get STV in Thailand. Looking forward to visiting Rayong. Matt, we'd love to have you. I think that they're going to continue with that STV program, which is the tourist visa, right? It's a special tourist visa, good for 90 days, and you can extend it twice, so it allows you 9 months in Thailand without having to leave. So hopefully they're going to continue that to try to continue to promote international tourism and make it easier for people to come and stay long term. So but if not, there's still other options. You know, there's business visas, there's family visas, there's retirement visas, different options, and none of them are difficult. I mean, it's kind of arduous. A lot of people use agencies and stuff just to, you know, for less headache. But I've always done all of my visa extensions every year, including my initial application of my non-O family visa, often referred to as a marriage visa. But any Thai family connection can qualify you for the non-O. I think that's the preferred visa status for most people if you have a Thai citizen family connection, because you know you're allowed to work and you're allowed to do a lot of things that you can't do on the retirement visa. But Matt, we can't wait to see you, man. I think a lot of people, after this unfortunate period that we've all been through, and it will come to a close, as you know, the wise people always taught us, everything comes to pass. This too will pass. Unfortunate that it's been so devastating, so much loss of life, and you know, so much economic damage, and then people's freedoms of travel, you know, all that kind of stuff. But it's going to pass, and I know that Thailand is excited about. You know, the Thailand Tourism Authority is really you know, done a great job of promoting Thailand uh, over the years, and their budget is increased. You know, I think Bangkok was the #1 visited city in the world in 2018. So it's a very popular spot. I think it's the jewel of all Asia. Now, I'm not speaking from personal experience, like I've lived in Vietnam or, you know, Malaysia or Singapore, or, you know, all these different countries over here in Southeast Asia, but just speaking from others' experiences that have traveled all of the Southeast Asia, Thailand is really a good option. I'm not saying it's better than everybody else, but I think that once people settle in here, they really feel comfortable, and it feels like home. It really feels like home. And of course, Thai people are so friendly, really are. It's known as the land of smiles for a reason. So, Matt, we hope to see you in Rayong. There's many beautiful areas of Thailand. So many good YouTube vloggers over here that travel all over the country and show you, you know, all the different things that you can see and do here. It's just an amazing country to live in, and just domestic travel. I don't see any reason to travel outside the country unless you're just a person that likes to travel a lot. But, you know, within Thailand itself, there's so much diversity and so many different things to see. So I haven't traveled Thailand as much as others, because my wife and I, we've had, you know, dogs, and, you know, kind of settled down. So we take our trips like vacations, but, you know, other people don't have responsibilities and commitments to animals or business or whatever, so they can travel. And so the great YouTube channels out there to watch and see the beauty of Thailand. But thanks, Matt. I really appreciate it. Good luck on your move. and sounds like a well-deserved retirement after aerospace career. Mr. Mitch says, yeah, David Kennedy, my days of roughing it are a bit different now. Yeah. When you get to be 50, that check engine light comes on, right? When you're over 50. Excuse me, guys. Seems like I always have a little bit of a runny nose in the mornings. I sleep with a CPAP machine with nasal pillows, and anyway. Yeah, I'm really happy to hear that, Matt. David Kennedy, knee guards. That wouldn't be a bad idea, David. My balance is terrible. Used to be great. I could do anything. I could jump hurdles with a 100-pound bag of cement in my hand, right? But now with this neuropathy and crap that I have to be really careful. My balance is not that good. The signal from the brain to control the balance is really, really slow. So, but that was probably, well, not even probably, the most difficult adventure that I've taken since I've been in Thailand. It was a challenge for sure, but very well worth it. Very well worth it. And the knee, I mean, it's swelled up a little bit because I kind of hyperextended it by bending it backwards, but it's fine now. I mean, just a scratch on the outside. So Ross and Rayong stuck up for you. Ross and Rayong's in the house. Oh, yeah, Ross and Rayong, he come by and visited the bar. Great guy. He's got a cool resort over here in Rayong. I don't know what he stuck up for me for, but thanks, Ross. Sometimes Thailand suits me, Mr. Mitch says. Yeah, Ross is a good man. I agree. Great guy. I had a very interesting conversation with him at the bar. Good morning, William Poole. Yeah, I'm up early all the time, William. It's just one of those things. Actually, I woke up at 3:30 and then tried to go back to sleep. You know what it is? I don't know why, but maybe I'm a little low on iron. I've actually had a little nosebleed the last couple of days. I don't have allergies. Wow, this is embarrassing. Got a little, thought I had a runny nose, but this happened to me a couple days ago, the other day. Yeah, it's a runny nose, all right, with a little bit of redness. I think I just got some irritation up there somehow. Anyway, yeah, I'm always up early. So, yeah, William, we appreciate you guys. Appreciate all you guys. I just wanted to go live this morning, let you guys know that we're going to go to the beach today, and I'm going to do some live streaming from the beach. I went back and watched some of the last live stream from the beach, and the video quality was okay as long as I'm not moving around too much. And I put the phone in the gimbal, which helps a lot. Really helps a lot when you got it in the gimbal. If you don't have it in the gimbal, it's really, really difficult to watch. I noticed some of those scenes, where I'm trying to move around without the gimbal. It's not too good. But we're going to go to the beach and try a different spot. We've all got our snorkel masks now. I bought the girls a snorkel mask, so we're looking forward to that. It's just like a hobby. It's good exercise, and weather's perfect. Weather is perfect here in Rayong. It's overcast, but cooler weather, nice breezes. So ought to be a great day to go to the beach and relax and do some live streaming out there for you. But the girls usually wake up about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Of course, they closed the bar down last night and had some good customers last night. They've done well, guys. They really have. They're really doing well. They're really doing well, and we're getting a lot of good feedback from customers, and we get new customers all the time. And then when they come back, they bring friends and stuff. So it's going good. It's going good. Which beach you going to, Thomas? Yeah, William. We're going back out to the Naval Beach area. It's just an amazing area for snorkeling. The water's so clear. But we're gonna. It's such a long beach. We're gonna be located in a different spot than we were last time. Right down there on the end is called Nong Rong, RONG. Nong. Nah, I always get it wrong. NONGRANG, Nong Rong, and the one on the other end is called Nong Ram, RAM. So we're going to the Nang Ram beach this morning. There's a lot of coral rock and a nice point out there and stuff, so should be pretty good for snorkeling. Normally it's never busy on Mondays, so should be good. So we'll show you guys some new area, and I've got the gimbals all charged up, uh, got the phone, the battery bank all charged up. So if nothing else, we'll get a good position and place the camera and keep it still for you guys. Hey, good morning, Richard. Good morning, Richard. Hey, good video. Haven't had a time to watch all of that, but very interesting. A lot of guys are fortunate to get these interviews with people that have entered Thailand during this time and give you the details of what they went through to get back into the kingdom. So good job, Richard. As always, man, your platform's amazing with all the interviews that you do. One of these times I have to reverse the tables on you, Richard, and just bring you in here, and say, hey, question you a little bit. But if you guys haven't seen Richard's, he's got some vlog series out too about the return to Pattaya. Really, really good stuff, man. Good stuff. But I think Richard Travel has kind of set the standard for the interview platform. So many different people have come on the channel, and Chuck from No Time to Be Sad was on there as well. And it's not easy to set up these interviews with all these people. Everybody's busy, got busy lives, got things going on, but it's really interesting. And I would advise anybody. And he tries to keep them at an hour or a little under an hour, so that you can go back and watch your replays and not have to sit there for extended period of time and really get the insight, different perspectives of people that have been living over here. And I know Richard's anxiously awaiting to be able to get back in as well. And anyway, if you guys haven't checked out Richard Travel, I encourage you to go check that out. It's really good stuff. That's one of the great things about these YouTube bloggers. You gain a lot of very helpful information from people that have experience over here. I slept right through the Saturday. I did too, to be honest with you, Richard. I was going to tune in, and normally I would be at the bar. Blushing man, Lo, you can interview me anytime. All right. I'm gonna have to set that up, Richard, and turn the tables on you and get some insights. I know you've offered up a lot of information about your past travels to Thailand and stuff like that, but I just think it's interesting to get everybody's different perspectives. And the thing about living in Thailand over here, I think that all of us have one thing in common, even though there's a lot of diverse backgrounds and a lot of different people that decided for one reason or another to start a YouTube channel. Some of them are very, very successful. I think Chad with CB Media, through the roof, man, almost 200,000 subscribers now. So he's doing well. So, it's something for everyone to consider. There is potential to have your own business through the YouTube channel, and be successful at that. So the guys that take it a little bit more seriously and look at it as a professional move, a career, potentially a career, there and Chad's got a background in photography, professional photography and stuff. So, and then you got guys like me that they're just strictly kind of hobby YouTube vloggers. Man, it's so crazy that nothing like having a live stream with a nosebleed. Sorry, guys. This happened to me a couple days ago, and I sleep with a CPAP machine, and it's really common to wake up in the mornings and just have a runny nose, and for the first 30 minutes, hour or so, and then it's gone, right? It's not like I have a cold or anything, but I've talked to a lot of people that live over here, and they said, they have it too. They don't sleep with CPAP machine, but it's common early in the mornings that you have this congestion of the nose, and you get all that cleared out and you're fine. But I think it just becomes irritable sometimes. And so I got a little bit of a nosebleed. It happened a couple days ago. Anyway, yeah. Time change in America. Yeah, did that just happen? It was Saturday night. Okay. So fall back. Your clocks went back. Yeah. It's always difficult for me to keep track of. My daughters all live in the central time zone in America, and it's exactly 12 hours from Thailand time. So it's, their AM's my PM. Don't have to do any math. Don't have to think about it. And then when they move the clocks back, it's like, okay, now we're 13 hours, right? And I'm always having to try to do math, which I hate. Yeah, Chad has skyrocketed and well deserved, man. I mean, very professionally done. And, he's got a background in automotive. And so a lot of people love that, all the racing videos. And there's just so many things that he's able to capture within a 10, 15-minute vlog. And, it's entertaining. It's captivating. And you could tell he's just a genuine guy. He's not an actor. He's just being himself, and he comes with a level of respect for the Thai people and the country over here. And I think he had aspirations on traveling and making a lot more vlogs from various different Southeast Asian locations. And lo and behold, look what happened. Nobody's traveling, so he's really done. Hey, Ross and RAYONG's in the house. How did you hear that, Ross? Maybe it's an echo from Bon Chong over there, right? Yeah, somebody piped in and said, what was the comment? You stood up for me or something like that. I forget what it was. I don't know exactly what they were referring to, but yeah, I was like, yeah, Ross came by. Ross is a great guy. Came by. Oh, he stuck up for you. Ross stuck up for you. Oh, whatever, Ross, I appreciate you sticking up for me. I don't know how you did it or why, but nevertheless, yeah, Ross, you appreciate you coming by the open mic and enjoyed meeting you, and want to get out there to your resort as well and check that out. So, Ross, you missed part of that stream. Okay, yes, I did. Yeah. Anyway, Ross, how's everything over there? Are you back at the resort? I know you've been traveling. Chris Sargent, hello, good morning. Just wanted to go live a little bit, have some coffee, and of course smoking cigarettes and waiting for the ladies to wake up. And we're going to go for a family adventure today out at the beach. Finally got all of the girls' snorkeling mask in, and we all love it. Back. Okay, you're back for the moment. Good, Ross. So yeah, we're going to go do that. And while I was waiting on them to wake up, I thought I'd go live and say thank you. Good morning to everyone. And I hope you're all doing well wherever you are in the world. No particular reason to go live. Definitely don't want to talk about all of the political stuff out of America. To each their own. I had a live stream the other night where I was trying to discuss just the health crisis, and hope we all get past it in various ways. Anyway, it got a little political, too political for my channel for sure, and I got passionate about the way I feel about things. But anyway, kind of broke my own rule a little bit, and being my channel, I guess I'm allowed to break the rule. But we definitely want to talk about that. I think every American has confidence in the American system. And so it doesn't matter who you were for, whatever. We're Americans, and we may argue and fight with each other, but somebody comes at us, we'll pick up the table and throw it back at you, right? So that's America. It's the American way, and so let the arena of debate and ideas prevail, and I think it has. And American people made a choice, and people have legitimate rights to question the results, and that'll all work out too. We have a system in place. Our founding fathers were absolute geniuses, and left the election process up to the states. They argued very heavily at the Constitutional Convention about states' rights, right? So that's what it's all about. Independent states have their own rules, and look, people can question things, and there's no sense in us, discussing it in detail. I just want to put out my optimism that no matter what happens, everything's going to be fine. There's no reason to panic. So, peace and love to everyone, man. Ross, we get an itch to travel and load up the car. That's the way to do it, right? Spontaneous. Why not, Ross? You got the means, you got the ability. Chris Sargent, I applied for a design job in RAYONG, but I don't think it will happen. Well, good luck, man. Keep going. Low, it was interesting. Yeah, I got pretty passionate. Just because, I don't know, I was trying to discuss a health crisis without having politics enter the conversation. It didn't work out well. And so I kind of opened up that I'm very libertarian. I'm power to the people and less power to the government. It's just kind of my philosophy. But I don't think I don't think it should be political when we discuss these things, regardless of who's in power. You know, the virus is going to do what it's going to do, right? There's only so much we can do. I'm going to pull that GoPro battery out of the charger. But anyway, guys, Richard, TTT, it's looking like our respective NFL teams will not meet up in the Super Bowl again this year. Yeah, unfortunately, I saw that. But you never know, right? San Francisco going to make the playoffs, aren't they? Surely they're going to make the playoffs. So you never know what's going to happen. I don't even know what your record is right now, Richard, but the Chiefs just beat Carolina. Very tough game. Very, very tough game. That Bridgewater, amazing quarterback as well. Got some great players. So it was a tight game. But what can you say? Patty Mahomes had another great day. 365 yards, I think. Guy's incredible. Andy Reid, amazing coach. It's a well-rounded team. So hopefully we'll get to represent Kansas City at Super Bowl again this year. It's looking good, but man, in playoffs, as they say, any given Sunday, right? Any team in the NFL can be the winner on any given Sunday. Hard not to discuss politics at times. A lot of it affects our lives so much. That's right, William. Basically my number one rule is no politics, no religion. And it kind of mainly, the reason I established that was because, I like to live stream. It's kind of natural for me to want to live stream and have discussions with people, but I don't want to discuss Thai politics or, anything at all. It's just like taboo to me. It's like we're guests here. And it's just, so it just kind of applied to everything as we went along. And, I like unity. I don't like division. And there's just too much division in politics. But you're absolutely right, William. I mean, politics pretty much covers everything. Everything is political, in a sense. But as far as, taking a side or choosing a candidate or anything like that, it's unfortunate. It's just something that's difficult to talk about without creating division. And I certainly don't want to create division. I don't want people to look at me and say, oh my God, I thought TTT was a cool guy. And then all of a sudden he comes out and blah, So I really want to avoid it. Off camera, I really enjoy the political arena. I think it's so important to the future of the free world that we discuss these things, the arena of ideas. Debate is healthy. I'm not a fan of the cancel culture and all that stuff where somebody says something that you disagree with and you cancel them or they're not your friend anymore, right? So yeah, just unfortunate that like I say, I'm an optimistic person. I mean, I just don't ever see, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. It'll work out. It'll all work out. I think that free countries, allies, united, stronger all the time. I just don't see, there's always dirty laundry in the age of the internet. Everybody wants to get clicks. So if you got a headline about all these positive things that are happening, you don't get any clicks, right? So I think everything's just sensationalized and hyperbolic, just to try to get the clicks. That's the way most people get their news now. So it's unfortunate, but I think it's, it's the responsibility of all of us to try to understand other people's perspectives and be a good listener, and don't be so assertive in your own opinions and stuff. So that's what I try to do. And if we can keep it, if we can, like being able to discuss the state of the current health crisis. I don't see why it should be political. Maybe now that elections over, you can discuss these kind of things without it being political. I just don't see blame, in a health crisis. I think it's something we all should come together and try to get past it and come out stronger on the other side. And humanity should have learned something from it, right? We should learn something from it and kind of change the way we see the world, and be more grateful for those freedoms and the little things in life, right? That's my takeaway. Not, oh, this person's to blame and that person's to blame. So yeah, it was difficult, but it was what it was, and I didn't take it down. So I was like, I'm probably going to lose some subscribers over this one, but oh well. Thanks for that, though, William. I agree. Ross, it's real hard to get into job other than teachers in Thailand. I tried for 15 years before just moving here. Yeah, Ross, I agree. It's not easy, It's amazing, though, the people that I've met here in Bon Chong, uh, Americans and Europeans that work over here in the Mop to Put industrial area, and oil and gas and all the different chemical companies and stuff over there, really high paying jobs. I mean, you're talking over six figures and up. But they're engineers and stuff like that, and they've been working over here for a lot of years. Really, really great guys. A lot of American engineers over here. So there is a lot of jobs for people that are highly qualified in the industrial area over here in Rayong. But I think just the run of the mill stuff. I mean, I've already had people on the open mic Facebook page, send me requests for bartender or chef, and as much as I'd like to hire them, it's just not unless we were a bigger company. It's just not possible now. There's less restrictions on the way we set up the corporation because I'm on a family visa. We refer to as the marriage visa, but we only have to have 2 Thai employees, where normally you would have to have 4 Thai employees, right? We only have to have 2, and that allows me to be the general manager. So my wife and I, right? My wife's majority owner, and I'm 49% share owner, and then we have 2 employees. So it works out great, right? But for me to be able to hire another Western, I mean, I'd love to hire somebody that had the skills that I have for a short order cook. I mean, I'm just real particular about what's going to go out, right? It's got to be top notch quality, right? And I think I can train a Thai, but yeah, it's even if I wanted to, I couldn't hire somebody legally that already had those skills, a foreigner. I can't do it. But those restrictions are in place for a reason, They want to protect the Thai jobs. So, Chris, I'll have to keep working on my plan to moving to Thailand. Yeah, Chris, keep working on it, man. And if there's anything I can do to help, or talk to these other guys that have a lot of experience over here, Robert Mack in Asia has a lot of experience. There are ways. Teaching English, it's not a big paying job. Maybe you only make $1,000 per month, but it's not full time either. It's part time, and that kind of gets a guy in with a B visa, associated with your employment contract. So that's why a lot of people do it, not necessarily because they need the supplemental income, but they need the long stay visa. So that's something to consider. Something to consider. Let me see. I think I'm about caught up. Leg's doing good. Leg's doing good. I've got a couple of scabs out there on the outside, but it all healed up nicely. No infection. Swelling went down after a couple of days of ice. So, kind of pulled some ligaments or stuff in there, but it's fine. It's all back to normal, other than a couple of scrapes, right? Ross and Rayong, Triple T, unfortunately, the news we devour shapes our views. There was a time when news was just facts. Yeah. Now primetime news is opinion. I agree, Ross. I can't watch it, man. That's one of the benefits of living over here. Like, if I was back home, I know I'd be consuming that crap all the time. It's like you live it. Good morning, Robert Mack. Just speaking of you. Thanks for coming along. Good morning. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I remember when you could watch 30 minutes, evening news. This is the evening news, right? And it was just told you what the headline stories were. There's no opinion. It just reporters, really good journalists out there on the ground trying to get the insights of a story. That was the news, right? But when cable news came along, CNN being the first one, cable news network, and 24/7. What are you going to talk about for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? You're going to talk about the news? Christ's sake, there's not that much news. I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's one of the benefits of living over here. Like you can just kind of disconnect from it. Tap into a little bit of it every once in a while, but it is unfortunate, man. It's either polarized on the left or polarized on the right. Like it's hard to find just straight news out there. I think that's why a lot of people like to watch podcasts. I like Joe Rogan. Not that I agree with Joe Rogan on everything, but he brings in multiple guests with various different opinions, professionals and different backgrounds. It's just there's all kinds of podcasts that you can get just new. I mean, yeah, it's opinionated, but you get both sides, and it's not like somebody's trying to shove something down your throat or they have an agenda or a narrative, right? So I think that's what a lot of people are doing now. They're just looking for other sources. I think mainstream media in America has got like a 13% approval rating, guys. A lot of people don't know that. I met a lot of Europeans and stuff, and that all they watch is CNN or BBC or whatever mainstream news, and they're like, "Oh my God, America's in chaos and all that." And I always say, "Only in the headlines, right?" So yeah, it does. Like Ross said, it sways the way we think. So I think you're better off without it. Without it, absolutely without it. So we're all smart and intelligent enough to read between the lines, right? Do our own research and everything. I think you're better off. Just keep an independent mind. Chris, do you do any American style barbecue at your bar? Yes, yes. We did that on the grand opening, Chris, to really test ourselves. On the grand opening, we had like 87 people, I think was the count. Not all at one time, but 87 people. And we gave all that away. So we had the American style, right? Charcoaled ribs and wings and pulled pork sandwiches with fresh baked slider buns, right? And then we had the Thai style, with the meat on the stick and mushrooms and vegetables and salad rolls. And so, we had vegetarian options. So we did that as a test on the grand opening. And yeah, we're gonna do both. I mean, we cater to the Thai people locally, but we have a big expat community here too. So yeah, it's gonna be like Friday and Saturday night barbecue, all you can eat for around 200 baht, so like $6, right? It's all you can eat. So everything will be laid out. You just get your plate, silver, go through. We'll bus your table, get another plate, and go through, right? Of course, the drinks are not included in that. So we hope you have a beer or two while you're there, because we're not going to make a whole lot of money on the food, but we are going to have American style breakfast, Chris, and it'll be early morning. I'm thinking 7 to 11, but I might even do earlier than that, because I've talked to a lot of the locals, and a lot of them are out earlier than that. We have a lot of bicyclists, a lot of golfers, a lot of people out early mornings, and there's no options other than 7-Eleven to go get you a cup of coffee, right? So that we're definitely going to do. Hey, Robert Mack, I just watched that latest video, that drive or Ventura, California. Great video, man. Appreciate you putting that out. AZ in the house. Hey, good morning. Good vibes. Yeah, it's always good vibes, isn't it? It's so great, man. Great. We got great people. Triple T, do you know how to smoke meat? Absolutely. I'm from Kansas City. Yeah, I've been smoking all my life. Now I don't have a smoker. I'm gonna look to do that. But like I say, these are baby steps. You got to grow your business. You got to get your customer base established, and you can improve on what you have to offer. Don Freeman, Thailand still exists. Thailand will exist forever, baby, and hopefully it'll remain as unique as it is now. A lot of people complain about the protectionism laws and you can't buy real estate and blah, 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 blah. But, that's what keeps Thailand unique. Thailand is not your multicultural, commonplace. It's very unique. Those who don't understand it and come over here might consider it discrimination, But, those of us that have been here for a while, we see it as protection for the citizens of Thailand. Thai people first, as you might say. So we don't consider it discrimination. We're wise to how things work, and it helps if you're making purchases or making deals to always have a Thai person that can help you with that instead of rolling out there solo, right? But yeah, Thailand's amazing. And the future of Thailand, I think, is bright. A lot of you guys, unfortunately, it's kind of like what we were talking about, Ross, with the news. The headline or the stereotype is, Thailand's suffering because of the lack of international tourists, and that's absolutely true, right? In the areas that are highly dependent, like Pattaya, Koh Samui, Phuket, right? Certain areas of the country that 80% or more of their economy, their locally based economy, involves international tourism. But as overall, I think international tourism or tourism in general is about 9 to 10% of Thailand's economy. So yeah, there's many other sectors in Thailand are doing well. They manufacture cars here. There's great infrastructure. They got high speed rail being built that's going to connect all three airports. It's an amazing country. Here in Rayong, and I know Ross can vouch for this, the amount of development that's going on in this province is unbelievable, guys. You just have to see it. I try to put some of it in my videos, but you can only capture so much of it. But there's big housing additions going up. All of the roads are like brand new 4-lane going in. Massive construction projects. Like I said, the high-speed rail, Utapao airports being expanded, getting a new runway, a new terminal, going to have international destinations all over the world, so you don't have to go to BKK International in Bangkok and then transfer to come over. Now, a lot of people call Utapao the Pattaya airport because Pattaya City is the biggest city near the airport, but Utapao airport's actually in Banchang. So it's in Rayong province. But anyway, there's massive. The future of Thailand is very good, guys. And anybody that thinks that it's not going to survive this downturn. Now, I'm not saying that there's not real pain and the people that were dependent on jobs in those tourist areas aren't hurting. Like, I'm not trying to downplay it. That's real. That's real. But overall, you have to look at the country overall economically, and I think it's very vibrant. Uh, Sorry, guys, I haven't been highlighting any comments. I don't know why. It's early, but there's Ross, and Ross is a business owner here. Yeah. Look, I'm not trying to be naive or zealous about my love for this country and try to represent something that I don't think is true. I would never do that, guys. I absolutely think the future of this country is going to be amazing. It economically and in every other way. Hey, thanks, William. Thank you. Have a good day. You stay safe too. Absolutely, Chris. How could you not respect that, right? And I think most of us that have been here a while, says, uh, only I've been to Lao, Mr. Luigi, Mr. Luigi. I've been to Lao. That's it. I don't have a lot of interest in that. My wife and I would like to do a little bit more traveling in the future, but there's so much to see right here in Thailand that we haven't seen that it's just easier. It's low cost. We can drive. So, uh, but I have a lot of friends that have tons of experience all over Southeast Asia, and to a person, I haven't met anyone that says that Thailand's not like the highlight for them, and that's why so many people choose to live here. Not saying anything negative about the other countries. I moved to Thailand in '99. Can't wait to get back and sell my condos to some. Hey, I understand the whole condo market, man. A lot of people bought into that. I'm not a condo guy myself, and I'm still renting. Like, I don't own any property here, which I think is a smart. Not trying to make this political system, but what's your favorite Zeppelin song? Oh my God! Uh, wow, Hmm. So many to choose from. But I'm trying to think of the one that I that I dedicated to my high school sweetheart back in the day. It was from the album. Oh, I can't remember it. My brain fart. Something about it's a love song. It's a ballad. Can't remember what album it came off of. Gosh, too many years ago. I love Zeppelin though. I love it all. But I'm not going to say "Stairway to Heaven," even though it's an amazing song. There's just so many other songs that I love. Yeah, well, I mean, one party systems in a way. I don't know about, old iron fisted communists, but yeah, they definitely are one party systems. I didn't enjoy Lao. I mean, I enjoyed seeing it, but I didn't enjoy, I mean, I was in a hurry to get back to Thailand for sure, for sure. Ross has been to Cambodia, great place to vacation. I've heard that too. And, your money goes a long ways. You want to take US dollars when you go over there? Because their money is the value is so low. It's like monopoly money, right? So they say take ones, fives, and tens, green U.S., and that's the best way to go. But yeah, I've heard a lot of guys over there. I think that's right. Thank you, thank you. I was dating like the most beautiful girl in high school. We dated for 3 years. Her name was Lisa Craner. Lisa, but you know how it is in high school. You think it's going to be forever, right? Of course, it wasn't forever. But I remember buying that album, and that's all we had back in that day was albums. It was all about the art and everything on the album cover, and giving it to her at the bus stop and dedicating that song. Thanks, Ross. I think that's right. I can't remember the song though. It's like a love song. Anyway, anyway, uh, I love music to all genres. I'm a huge Kid Rock fan. That's about as far as my rap music goes, is into Kid Rock. Sorry, guys. I'm just not a big rap fan, but I do like Kid Rock because he's a musician. He can play every instrument in the band. Amazing, amazing. And so that was like hip hop rock, right? And so that's kind of faded now. I think after Kid Rock, you don't see too much of that. But I like it all. Oh, come on! Your wife is the most beautiful woman in your eyes. Absolutely, Nam Yin. I'm very, very lucky. Very lucky. Chris, just an English teacher, and I didn't have any teaching background. My degree is not in education. So once I got over here, I didn't have any intentions of teaching, but I had like a $1,300 per month pension. That's all I had. Some savings when I got here. Bought a one-way ticket to Thailand. I want to write a song about that. One-way ticket to Thailand. Anyway, a friend of a friend asked me if I'd be interested. We were living in Nonthaburi, which is a suburb of Bangkok. Had a condo there. Didn't have a vehicle, motorcycle, or anything, but everything was in walking distance. We were just happy, and asked me, and I went up to Isan for an interview, and liked it. Thought this could be fun. And it was only like 18 hours a week, something like that. So yeah, I was teaching English and English second language. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I did that for a couple of years, and then another friend of a friend, a retired Marine in Bangkok, ex-Vietnam vet, told me about a job position at the Army Academy in Nakhon Nayok. So I emailed them, and they were anxious after they saw my resume come down. So I went down and interviewed with them, got the job, taught a couple of years for the Royal Thai Military Academy in Nakhon Nayok, and that was 12 hours a week. Yeah, 3 days a week, 4 hours a day. So I've only done it part time and really enjoyed it. And then I was going to go back and work for the academy. I really liked working with the cadets. These guys are the creme de la creme, shall we say, in Thailand. I mean, they graduate from one of the most difficult high schools in Thailand, the Armed Forces Preparatory School, Academy Preparatory School. So all of these young men, it's men only, exclusively in Thailand, to go to these academies, and they all go to the same high school called AFAPS, Armed Forces Academy Preparatory School. So they have to go their last 3 years of high school at AFAPS. They have to get accepted into AFAPS, which is very difficult to do. To get accepted into AFAPS, I think they get like 20,000 applications a year, and they accept like 200 or something. I don't know if those numbers are exactly right, but it's pretty close to that. It's a very difficult school to get into. So once you get into that high school, then they have like 20% dropout rate just because it's so demanding. There's military training, police training, a lot of other things in addition to the academics. There's a lot of other curriculum involved. Very, very strict high school, right? And it's right there in Nakonayok near the Army Academy. But anyway, when those students graduate from the AFAPS high school, then they go to the various academies, whether it's the Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, Army Academy, or the Police Academy. So all of the commissioned officers, right, that go through, uh, that graduate, end up graduating from their prospective military academy, they all went to the same high school together. So it's pretty, it was a privilege and honor to work for them. And my thing was the elective English course. Thank you. Thank you, Luke. Hope you are well. Everyone here is doing very well. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody that, you know, doesn't have experience in teaching, don't let that bother you. I mean, there's opportunities over here for native English speakers. That's a key thing, guys. I mean, there's a lot of teachers over here teaching English that are from the Philippines or various countries, right, that aren't native English speakers, okay? Just because there's such a high demand for English teachers here in Thailand. Thailand has one of the lower English fluencies in all of Southeast Asia, and there's reasons for that. Thailand has never been colonized, right? It's always been independently Thai. It's never had a ruler from another country, right? So it's never had another language embedded within the country. I think that's one of the main reasons. But in the modern era, the government schools and there's private international schools here. There's just a lot of opportunities for people that maybe think, oh, I'm not qualified to be a teacher. Well, you're qualified to teach your own native English, right? So you can get accredited through what they call a TEFL or a CELTA, which is just a program. Over here, they're like 120 hours. Not difficult, not very expensive. So you can get certified to teach English as a foreign language. And depending on your educational background, if you're a native English speaker, there's a lot of jobs available, and the schools will help you get on board. They take care of the, B visa application process with the Immigration Bureau, as well as the work permits through the Ministry of Labor, right? The school really does all that for you. You provide, copies of your passport and things like that. If you have a degree or any educational certification outside of Thailand, you get that certified by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Bangkok, right? So you take your educational documents to them and they'll verify that that's your document and they stamp it. So, you get your CV together and stuff like that. But really, the schools do everything for you for the onboarding process. And there's so many schools. Right here in Ban Chong, we have 3 private schools that are all English subjects, right? So not only an English class, but every subject is taught in English. Thai history, math, chemistry, it's all English, 100% English schools. Now, those teachers do have to have a degree in education, right? They have to be teachers, licensed teachers from their home countries, because those are private schools with high tuitions. But the government schools, whether it's elementary or mid school or high school, you don't have to have a degree in education if you're a native English speaker. So I would encourage people that maybe never thought about it. And it's really, B visas are long stay visa. You just renew it every year, right? And it's based on your employment contract. So as long as you're working here, the school's going to assist you in really the 1-year annual extensions are really easy compared to the initial one, the initial B visa and work permit, right? After you're in, it's really, really easy to do the extensions every year. So it's something for people to consider. That's how my channel got titled Teacher Thomas Thailand, because my name is Scott Thomas, and the students couldn't pronounce Scott, and they don't call you by your last name here. Like everybody goes by their first name. It's the opposite. Even in the military, they go by their first name, right? They don't use their surnames. So it's really odd. So because they had a difficult with the blend of SC, that blended consonant, sk, sk, right? They'd say, Sakat, Sakat. It just, so Teacher Thomas was just phonetically much easier. And then, then I just got labeled as Teacher Thomas. And that was 3 years before I ever started my YouTube channel. And if you notice, Sarah and Jam still call me teacher, right? So it kind of stuck. And when I decided to create a YouTube channel, I'm like, that's kind of my title here. Everybody knows me as Teacher Thomas. But it's a very noble profession, very rewarding, and you're contributing to the kingdom. Like you feel like you're invested, you're educating students. And then for me to be educating these cadets, that when they graduate, they're commissioned as officers into the Royal Thai Army. And I stay in contact with them, guys. I got a whole bunch of them online app, right? We stay in contact. And, it's great contacts to have. And a lot of my cadets that have graduated, I mean, they've been to America, Australia, England. They travel all over the world and they train with other military forces. Thailand is strongly allied with Western countries in military training, right? And they have Cobra Gold, which is a big event here every February every year. It was originally just Thailand and the United States, but now it's, a lot of countries involved. The ASEAN countries. Yeah, it's great. So, yeah, I would encourage anybody that's watching this live or watching the playback, maybe wants to live in Thailand, doesn't know how, and thinks, well, I'm not qualified to be a teacher. If you're a native English speaker, you're qualified. Even if you don't have a degree per se, there are exceptions for native English speakers that have a high school diploma from a native English school, right? So you've been speaking English since you were 3 years old, right? So that's important. And then you got to get certified. You got to be trained to teach English as a foreign language. Was it the TEFL program? A lot of people are taking the TEFL Teach English Foreign Language online, right? It doesn't really matter how you get the certification as long as that's in your resume, right? You're certified to teach English as a foreign language. So I would encourage anybody that is thinking, and that's not just Thailand. Now, I can't speak to the laws, labor laws in other countries, but I think all of Southeast Asia needs more and more native English speakers to teach English. So there's a lot of job opportunities. You're not going to get rich, but you have to consider the low cost of living over here, right? You make $1,000 a month over here. And if you've got something else, a pension or dividends or some other kind of income, and then you get that supplemental, and you're living large, And a lot of times the schools provide housing and everything for their teachers. So then, the only cost of living you have is your food, right? So I would definitely encourage anyone that has aspirations of living in Southeast Asia to look into it. It doesn't mean it has to be a permanent thing. And then maybe you meet a Thai lady, you get married, and you convert into a non-O family visa after that. And then you don't have to have an employment contract to keep your long stay visa status. So it's definitely a window into getting established. And again, it's very rewarding. And you get kind of immersed into Thai culture because you're working with Thai people and Thai students, right? So it's a great opportunity. What is that? Do they still make? I've never even heard of that, Don. No, they said at the desk. I don't know where. Maybe that was some oddball story. I mean, obviously there's things that go wrong within the school systems and bad teachers or whatever, but it's not a reflection on on the school system. No, not at all. Thank you for your videos. I can't wait to visit Thailand. Definitely want to come to Rayong. Thank you, McClintock77. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. Like I say, it's just a hobby for me, but I do enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. The channel's monetized and it's earning a little money, but it's not something that I depend on or anything. Schools don't want what? Schools don't want TV accent English, right? Yeah, they prefer clean, accent. But guys, there's people teaching English here from all over the world, including NNES, non-native English speakers. So Absolutely right. Not a big tourist destination. Well, I think the entire province is worth seeing, myself, Ross. I mean, that's why I chose to live here. I can live anywhere I want to in Thailand and been to a lot of places and beautiful places, but I chose Rayong because I love it. It's an expanding, growing area. It's the highest per capita income in all of Thailand, so there's a lot of good jobs here. Yes, Sarah is very, very good. She's one of my top students. She was in all of the English speaking competitions, did very, very well, and she still works hard. I've got a phonics book that she reads a lot now to improve her pronunciation. She's dedicated to it. I hear you on the name thing. The main reason for my Thai nickname, Richard. Yeah, exactly. They would call you, "Hey, Richard," right? Instead of rich, or that CH is one of the most difficult pronunciations for Thai. The CH and the SH get blended together, right? Like, what's the bus station, the big bus terminal in Bangkok? More chit, more chit, right? We say more chit, but you hear Thai people say it sounds like more shit, more shit. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you learn as an English teacher that you probably otherwise wouldn't learn as far as the details, and then therefore you're able to help the students overcome the most difficult pronunciations of the English language for Asian speakers. For example, they don't have the consonant V in their alphabet. There's no V. So we have a lot of words with V, right? Whether it's at the beginning, like very, or in the latter, love, right? There's so many. And so when you become an English teacher, you're really, really made aware. So then you can focus. I think phonics, syllables, really breaking the words down, pronunciation is very, very key. My favorite class at the academy is the elective English course. We have no curriculum, no textbook. I create all the curriculum. So think of it like a speech and drama class, basically what it is. Imagine if you had a speech and drama class back in your home country in a second language, right? We most of us studied Spanish in America as a second language, right? Dull, boring. We didn't learn much, right? We didn't come out of there being able to speak much Espanol, right? Imagine if it was no textbook, right? The teacher could write on the board, right? Of course, they have the same alphabet with a couple additions, right? Like the double L and things like that. But anyway, imagine if you were required to act out roles, give presentations, right, with a PowerPoint presentation, all in Spanish, like they were making you speak Spanish. So it was all about speaking and listening skills. You probably would have enjoyed it. You'd have had a lot of fun because you got to do these skits and pantomimes and different things, right? So that's the way I treated my English conversational class, and that's what's needed because they're really good at their handwriting is amazing, much better than my sloppy left hand. So Kien Suai, right? They can write beautiful English, and reading comprehension is pretty dang good too. But then you ask them, okay, can you speak out loud? Put dong dong, dai mai kap, put dong dong, speak out loud. Oh, made I cannot, right? So this is critical. Communication. Suntana, communication skills, speaking and English skills. Yeah, that's true, man. 2 weeks, McClintock, man. Yeah, I would just say, if you like the big city, go to Bangkok, right? And then from there, you can, take some day trips and really see a lot of stuff. But 2 weeks is not a whole lot of time. If you like the beaches, maybe a city like Hua Hin would be great because it's a good sized town, lots to offer there for tourism, a lot of Western food and stuff. If you like the more isolated, beach towns, but still has a lot to offer, come to Rayong, Ban Chong. I mean, the airport's right here in Ban Chong, so absolutely, McClintock. 2 weeks is not enough, very sure. Harry, please don't do that, man. We don't talk like that here, Harry. Please don't do that. Yeah, Chris. And then, once you get settled in over here and you got a little, you got a little job, like I say, there's a website, pretty sure it's called teachingthailand.com. And you can go on there and you can search every province and you'll see all these schools. Now, school starts in late April, 1st of May, depending on what type of school. So the summer break that we would call it is February and March. That's the summer break. So if you start looking, in February and March, you're going to see a lot of schools with a lot of ads out there looking for teachers for the ensuing year, right? But really, any time of year, even mid-season, mid-semester, there's always ads on there. So Google teachingthailand.com. I'm pretty sure that's it. Man, there's tons of jobs on there, tons of jobs. And like I say, Thailand needs more and more native English speakers. If you're a native English speaker, look, I don't care what your educational background is, okay? Get certified through a TEFL program, whether it's online or wherever. They have TEFL programs pretty much in every country now. So get certified to teach English as a foreign language. Get all that stuff in your resume. Submit that. You can submit it through email to all of the schools. So I would recommend you apply directly to the school. Each school has a foreign language department, and then they'll have a director of the foreign language department. And hopefully that director is pretty fluent, pretty bilingual, so you can have good communication with the director of the foreign language department. And like I've heard of people that got the job, got everything taken care of before they got the plane ticket, right? So then when they landed with a tourist visa, right? You come with a tourist visa, gives you 60 days plus another 30-day extension. So that gives you 90 days. Well, you can do a change visa status from a tourist visa, if you have an official tourist visa affixed into your passport, not a stamp that exempts you from a visa. That's what we call visa exemption, right? Or visa on arrival. You technically don't have a visa. You just get a free 30 days and then you can extend that, right? So you can come, especially as an American, with just your passport, right? And get that stamp called visa exempt. Get an actual visa, apply through the Thai embassy or consulate in your home country. Get a tourist visa, right? It'll say 60 days, right? And then you can extend that for another 30. So basically, you're guaranteed 90 days. Now, I can speak to this directly because I've done it firsthand. I had a relative, he's like a second cousin that came here, and he had the tourist visa. He got it in Myanmar at a Thai embassy in Myanmar, right? Well, he wanted to teach English. I got him hired as an English teacher. He didn't have to leave the country. They went right down to the Immigration Bureau through the Ministry of Labor, right, with the work permit, because it's two different entities. The Immigration Bureau does your visa. Ministry of Labor does your work permit. So you kind of got to work with two entities, but then it all kind of comes together in the B visa process. So he was able to change from a tourist visa to a B visa. He didn't have to leave the country or nothing. So the initial B visa is good for 90 days. And then before that 90 days expires, the school just helps you apply for the 1-year extension, right? Wasn't difficult to do. He didn't have a degree, right? He was high school diploma, native English speaker, and he was certified through TEFL. So I can speak to it firsthand, right? I actually helped in the process of getting him on board. So it's very, very doable if you arrive with a tourist visa and you're considering, right? So if you talk to one of these schools directly, you're in communication. And trust me, if you put your CV out there to a lot of these different government schools, high schools, elementary schools, whatever, right? And you're a native English speaker, high school diploma, and you've been certified to teach English as a foreign language, you put all that out, you're going to get a bunch of contacts, right? And so you're like, okay, so then you've got options open, right? You come to Thailand, you've got your tourist visa, you're guaranteed to be here for 90 days without having to leave the country, right? Now, this is when things are back to normal, right? Which won't be long, I think. But anyway, so now you've already got all these contacts. So then go visit the actual schools that want to hire you, right? Go see 2 or 3 of them. Decide which area you like, right? Are they offering you housing? Right? Are you going to have to pay your own rent? What's going on? What's the different offers? You're going to get a lot of offers. Trust me. If you're a native English speaker, you are blessed, man. You are fortunate that you were born or raised in a country that speaks English as their first language. I mean, it's so desperately needed, guys. There's this huge void here in Thailand for native English speakers because most of the people that come over here, I think the majority are on retirement visas. You can't work on a retirement visa. You're prohibited from employment. The schools can't hire you legally, right? So, the B visa is the way to go. Unless you happen to have a Thai family connection, a wife or a child, adopted child, whatever, right? Some legal family connection, then you can do what I've done, which is have the non-O family visa, and there's no prohibition from working. You can get a work permit and everything on a non-O. But anyway, my point is, you can make all these content, you can do all this stuff through email, get your crap. Seen that glitch. Anyway, I just want to encourage everybody. Look, even if it's something like I have no interest in teaching, I didn't either. I didn't come here to teach. It's just an opportunity for you to get that long stay visa, have a part time gig with some supplemental income, right? Get to know Thailand, get to know Thai people. You feel like you're giving back to the culture because you're teaching students, right? And then, look at me. I mean, I taught 2 years at a high school and then went to the highest level you could do here, as far as I'm concerned, in a government school, outside of the international schools where you need to be an actual teacher, right? You need to be a licensed teacher from your home country to get one of those jobs, right? But on the government level, I was teaching for the Royal Thai Army Academy, right? I mean, amazing. It's like the highest plateau. I didn't just fall into that, right? I worked my tail off and I built a reputation. And then, I applied. I kept my ears open for other opportunities. And it was a great, great job. And like I say, now I have all these contacts with commissioned officers in the Royal Thai Army. I mean, we're friends. We're tight, man. We're tight. These guys are like sons to me, literally. I mean, some of them even call me dad, like they're American dad, right? So it's look at the benefit that I got out of it. It wasn't about a salary per se, although nobody wants to work for free, right? But the other benefits that came along with it's just been amazing, amazing. The contacts and everything, and I just feel so at home because, and you just feel like you gave back. You didn't just come over here and sit idle. You actually did something. Now it's not for everybody, and there's other ways. There's other ways. Now I'm in a business that has nothing to do with the educational system, but I don't think I could have done what I'm doing now wasn't possible without the other steps, right? So anyway, stop rambling on that. But Chris, yeah, I'm glad that you feel like there's possibility. Don, what is the deal with the whole? Did you really move to China? I mean, there's a lot of native English speakers in China too. So more power to you if you want to go to China. But good morning, Pagna, Chocolate Man in Thailand. I'm always up early, Chocolate Man. Thanks for coming along, man. I love your logo, buddy. Love your logo, Thai and American flag. I use that a lot in some PowerPoint presentations when we were welcoming the American ROTC cadets to the military academy because there's such a great partnership between the two countries. Either choose coast or mountains if you have limited time, but try to do both. Yeah, yeah. 2 weeks is not enough, huh, Ross? Well, again, it's the headlines, man. I mean, if that's what you want to follow, Don, why don't you, like follow some of these YouTubers, man, and see if it's as big and drastic an issue as what the headlines say. I don't think it is. Look, Thai people are going to work it out. The future belongs to Thai people, and I don't get involved in those things, and I don't highlight or take a side on them. Well, let's just say it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Thai people will take care of it. Yeah, I know it. How do they say it, Chris? It's like oi, oi. I love the oil massage. I mean, I like the Thai massage where they stretch the hell out of you, but because of my fibromyalgia, it's can be kind of painful. So the oil, and actually kneading the muscles, and it's much better for me. So yeah, do you have oil massage? And you always hear oi, oi. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Hey, thanks, Larry. Thanks, Larry. I just wanted to go live a little bit this morning before we take off for the beach. The girls should be stirring around pretty soon here. No hurry on a Monday. The nickname is Loot. Yeah, yeah, and that L and the N get all confused too, right? When I was in it, and Chuck is like really done his with no time to be sad. He's done his homework and learned to write the Thai alphabet. Give him kudos, man. I'm just lack of, I mean, just pure laziness that I haven't learned more Thai, but I know that their L, whether it's at the beginning of a word or at the end of a word, right? At the end of a word, exact same letter, exact same consonant, sounds like an N, like a Suwanapom airport, right? Suwanapom airport, which is weird because it ends with an L, right? But yeah, the L and the R, that's something you can really focus on when you're teaching the Thai students, about the English language, how big a different phonics sound there is in an R and an L, right? So you come up with all these tongue twisters and all these different things to highlight that difference, just like the letter V. So you focus in on what you know is their weakest pronunciation points, right? And then really, really, really make them get up there and institute that. Larry, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Mitch is awesome. The guy does so much work for all these other channels and stuff. It's incredible. I will remember that. Lut, Ras, Lut. Some people say Falang, meaning white Westerner. It could be a person from Russia is a Falang. White skinned foreigner. I say Farang. I kind of use the R, but some people say Falang. You can actually hear la 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 la. So it's got different dialects throughout Thailand, as you guys know. Isan's a different dialect than Central Thai, and in the South, really, really tonal. So, and you read that. Thanks, James. Appreciate you coming in. All my wife's family calls me Pilut. P means older sibling. That's absolutely right. They From an early age, Thai people are taught that level of respect for their elders, even with their older siblings. P. You can't refer to your older brother or sister just by their name. You have to put the P in front of it as a matter of respect because they're older. Absolutely, Ross. And then what's the younger one? If you have a little sister, is it Nuong, something like that? I think is the younger. There's a word for the younger, right? Older male sibling, right? But even my wife does it with her older friends. Say like she has a friend named Joy. If the friend is older, she calls her P Joy, P Joy, which just that P is just a sign of respect that you're an elder. It's amazing how the respect is built in to the language. Incredible. No one can read Thai. Yeah, there's no spacing in between the words. You don't get a space until after the sentence is complete. And then there's no punctuation either. It's difficult. I think I could do it if I actually took some formal classes. I did a lot on my own. You sit down with the little kids' books and you trace. So I can, pretty good writing. But then when I really start to study the phonetics, it's very, very confusing with the tones. And then depending on the placement of the vowel or consonant determines the sound of it, right? It absolutely so much more difficult than English, I think. I've had a lot of my students say English is the most difficult thing ever to learn. And then I've had other students who are like, English is so much easier. And those are usually the more advanced students in English. Like they understand the comparisons that we're not a tonal language, right? We have vowel sound rules like short vowel, long vowel, and we have the blended vowels. And then we have a few words that completely break the rules. But for the most part, English is such an easier language, although it's expanding. English is like growing all the time, right? It's the language that never keeps growing. New words are created all the time. I've been to Phuket, Harry, and my wife and I stayed 7 days. Yeah, we stayed 7 days in an area called Cape Panwa, which is south of old Phuket town, down by the big Phuket Aquarium, down there in the far south, like as further away as you can get from the Phuket airport. But that's what we wanted. I mean, we went through, Patong and all of the areas, and those are beautiful too. But when we take a holiday, it's a getaway, right? We want to get away. So we stayed down there at a hotel called By the Sea, right on the beach, and had a restaurant and everything you needed there. And then we rented a motorbike, and we could drive like 10 minutes and be in old Phuket town, which is really, if you guys haven't been to old Phuket town, actual Phuket town itself in the south, amazing, and old markets, and really, really cool place. To each their own, though. I mean, some guys like to go to the big nightlife areas, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, man. You're on holiday, man. Live it up, right? Greatest guys' night in the world is Thailand, from what I've heard. I haven't been to all the other countries, and obviously there's nightlife all over Southeast Asia. But from what I hear, it's hard to top Thailand for a guy's night. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? The whole P, and it's a sign of respect. It really, really is. That's what it comes down to. That's why that word's there. It's kind of like when men say "kap," right? At the end, it's a polite particle, right? Like it'd be rude not to use it. Like if you want to ask someone how much for that, right? Ani tarai, this one, ani tarai, how much, right? If you don't say "krap," you just kind of come off as rude, right? So there's a lot of things built into the language that I think are just shows the cultural Buddhist respect, that's built into the language. And I think that P is a good example, I mean, hey, it's my big brother, or this is my brother, right? I wouldn't even think about telling somebody, using a respectful term because he's my older brother. Who gives a crap, right? Not in our Western culture. You don't get no respect just because you're older than me, right? Well, it used to be that way. It's not built into our language, but here in Thailand, absolutely essential that you use these respectful terms. I think it's impressive. Harry, I mean, I love Phuket too, but as far as somewhere to live, I mean, we chose Rayong. We like the eastern seaboard of the Gulf. If you want to see some amazing beaches, stay tuned for a stream later today, wherever time it is you are in the world. You can go back and watch. There's some beaches over here at Satahip in Chonburi province. It's near the Royal Thai Navy base. Those of you that don't know, the Royal Thai Navy owns all of the land at Utapao, Rayong, Pattaya International Airport. That's all naval property. So there are some public beaches down there that we go to, and check those out. I think there's some, and I've had people that visited that have been to all of the islands and said, wow, this is amazing. The water's so clear, the white sand, the coral everywhere, right? So it's a mainland beach. You don't need a boat to get there. So I have no doubt that Phuket's an excellent place to live. No doubt about it, though. But, to each their own. We chose Rayong. We love this area. Yeah, I've heard that. I want to get out there to Koh Samui. I've seen a lot of videos from Lily's expat life. I like to watch her channel out there in Koh Samui. No, you can't work on a tourist visa, not legally. No, you're not going to get a work permit. You need a work permit to work legally. But you can convert the tourist visa to a B visa or to any other type of visa in Thailand. It's called a change status. They actually have a separate form, right? So you've got that tourist visa. It's still valid. And now you've got an employment opportunity or Maybe you got married or whatever it is, right? If you're within the window, I think you need at least 15 days left on your tourist visa, because that's how long the process of the application is going to take to change you from a tourist visa status to another visa status, right? But absolutely, you cannot work on a tourist visa. Not saying it doesn't happen, but not legally. No, you cannot. Is it Nong? Is that what the word is? Who hit me with that? I'm scrolling down here. I missed it. That's correct. Not legally. Yeah. See, I'm way behind here. Yeah. Great waterfall video. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. And there's so much more about Rayong that we haven't even seen yet. But yeah, that's an area, a district of Rayong called Klang. Got a lot of hills and stuff up in there. Oh, thank you, Robert Mack. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Channel's still growing. Been weird things happening with YouTube. Not just me, but I've heard from a lot of vloggers. A lot of people are losing subscribers and they can't understand it. I got to like this plateau of 2,550 subscribers, and then I'd go up, like it's still growing. I'd go up to like 57, and then boom, it'd go back down to 49 overnight. I'm like, what the hell? How did that? And it's just been going on that way for a while now, but it seems to be back on the right track. I'm not concerned. I think that I need to earn my subscribers the old fashioned way. I think the days of instant gratification and algorithms are more for the guys that have a lot more experience than I do. Retired and working for you. Great channel, Chris. His channel's boom, growing like crazy still. So those guys know how to work this deal better than I do. I just put out videos that I hope people find interesting. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Khalifa, thank you. Thank you, Irish lad. In Flada, in Fla. Irish lad in Fla. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. I gotta start screening better. Sorry, guys. That's the thing about when you're watching it on Streamlabs, you're going through, like, I can't see the mods. I can't see what's been put in timeout. Then I can highlight a comment like that. I'm like, oh, crap. Can't do that, teacher. It hasn't been screened yet, right? Yeah. We don't discuss any of that crap here. Guys, there's no sense. Nong. So I was close, right? Nong. Nong. So if you have a younger sibling, right, or even a younger friend, like my wife's got younger friends that refer to her as P Nam Yin. P Nam Yin. They never just call her Nam Yin. They're a younger friend, so they use that word P. It's incredible. Yeah. Nong. Nong is for younger, right? Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Older women have nicknamed J. So if they say like PJ, it's more like a nickname, huh? Cool, cool. Ah, there we go. Here's somebody that has experience with the TESOL program. Hmm. Thanks for that, Barry. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that if you're a native English speaker and you have a high school diploma, I mean, you got to have a high school diploma, right? But you get certified, you're qualified at a lot of these schools. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, here's some language within the Thai law, labor laws that say you must have a bachelor's degree in order to get a work permit to work as a teacher, right? Well, I can show you other provisional laws that say the opposite, right? That for under university level, if you're a native English speaker, you need a high school diploma and certification in TEFL, CELTA program, right? So, guys, I'm not here to argue the written law. I'm just telling you, I know from firsthand experience, if you don't have a degree, yet you have a high school diploma, and you're interested in long stay in Thailand, you have some money, some savings, or some dividends, or whatever, you're a young person, Don't believe the naysayers, man. Do your own research, put your CV together, get certified in a TESOL program. A lot of them are done online now. Uh, get that taken care of, and then deal directly with the schools. TeachingThailand.com. I'm pretty sure. You just Google search Teaching Thailand. There's multiple different websites. You can search if you have a particular province that you're looking at. Say you've been to Thailand before and you have acquaintances, maybe a girlfriend or whatever in a certain province. You can just search that province. You'd be amazed at how many jobs come up there. And then you'll see NES required, native English speaker only, right? Or you'll see NNES. So they accept Filipina applicants, right? So you can see all the various, right? And look, don't take it from me. Don't take it from anybody. Deal directly with the school, right? If they say, yeah, we want you, but I don't have a degree, can I get a work permit? And they say, yes, right? So the school takes care of 99% of the application process for both your B visa and your work permit through the Ministry of Labor. I mean, you're basically providing your CV documents, copies of your passport. That's what you provide. And of course, you have to be there, right? You have to physically go, and then you'll get a work permit. I don't know where mine's at the moment, but it's kind of like a passport book, right? And they laminate your photo and everything in it. It's absolutely possible to work here legally as an English teacher without a degree. So I just know firsthand that that's true. I'm not saying that all schools, depends on the school, right? But basically the Ministry of Labor will defer to the school's requirements for the education of the applicant, right? If the school's like, look, it's in our policy for a native English speaker, they need to have a high school diploma or equivalent and be certified to teach English as a foreign language. And the Ministry of Labor is like, okay, right? So now here's the thing. If you do have a degree, the Ministry of Labor is not going to accept it unless it's stamped by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. If your educational degree came outside of Thailand. Now, if you get certified in Thailand, like Barry was talking about, if you get your TEFL in Thailand, then you don't have to take it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, right? It's an internal domestic document. So Ministry of Labor will accept any educational degree or otherwise that's been obtained in Thailand through a Thailand university or school, right? So anyway, yeah, it's not difficult. And I hate it when people get all this discouragement of becoming a teacher here, especially the native English speakers. That's who I'm speaking to. I love every nationality. I've worked with great Filipino teachers. They pretty much know their deal. They're non-native English speakers. They've got to have a degree, preferably a master's degree in English, right? It's a different set of rules for them, guys. They didn't grow up speaking English. They went through their entire university life speaking their native language, not English. The only English they had was an English class, right? So it's a huge, huge difference between NNES and NES. So don't be discouraged if you're a native English speaker, man. And it's a window, an opportunity. Come on a tourist visa, have those contacts with various schools that you've already emailed your resume to, right? Have all of those contacts ready to go. Come here on a tourist visa, go do the nightlife, go see the beaches, the mountains, whatever. And then you got business event. Go do the interview. Go down and talk to the directors of the foreign language department are pretty much going to be bilingual. Now, their speaking skills may not be that great, but they will understand every word of your emails, and their reading comprehension is 100%. So there's not going to be any miscommunication beforehand. And after you get there, just remember, speak slowly, right? You're speaking to a non-native, even if they have a master's degree in English. They don't get that much English spoken to them, right, daily. So just be aware of that and make sure there's no misunderstanding. It's just a great opportunity. That's not the reason I came here, but it was a window that opened up to me after I got here. And, I'm a non-O visa holder, so I can get a work permit on the visa I got. So I never had to do a change visa status myself personally, but I've done it personally with another teacher, high school diploma, TEFL certification. He got his TEFL up in Chiang Mai. And once he had his TEFL, boom, got him on board and had a work permit. So there's other people are going to tell you, oh, you're not going to get a work permit without a degree. contact the schools, right? Put your resume together. And if you do have a degree, it doesn't matter what background, right? Now, if you have a degree in education, you're actually a teacher and you want to move to Thailand, gosh, there's international schools over here that are going to pay good salaries, okay? Good salaries. I'm talking, you know, 80, 100,000 baht per month, you know? That's a good salary over here. So, but that's for actual teachers, right? Have a degree in education. Lots of private schools over here, guys. Lots of private schools. We are heading to Nong Ram Beach this morning, Ross. Nong Ram out there at Satahip. As soon as the girls get up and around, which I'm surprised they're not already hassling me, to be honest with you, because I ordered their snorkel mask. We got the full face snorkel mask. Guys, that's the way to go. It really is. And snorkeling is such a great hobby. But that area of Satahip is all protected by the Navy. They don't allow the boats to come in and drop anchor or anything. That's why all that coral rock is protected. Literally, guys, I haven't been to any of the islands other than Phuket. Just haven't done it. So I haven't seen, you know, the pristine island beaches, but I've had people that visited Nong Rong, Nong Ram, Sai, Clearwater Beach. That's exclusively for Thai people. But anyway, I've been there because I was working for the Army and I could get in. But anyway, nevertheless, that whole area, people that have been to some of the most beautiful islands, and they get there and they're like, oh my God. They can't believe how clear the water is and how much snorkeling right off the beach. I mean, you don't have to get in a boat, right? And so it's one of the prettiest mainland beaches, I think. No, it's not expensive at all, Chris. There's no cost for me to live stream. The only reason I haven't been live streaming more from the bar and grill is because a lot of our local customers are just not down with the whole YouTube world. Unfortunately, you know, they read a lot of these comments. Hey, the foreign bloke's in the house. Good day, mate. Good day. Up here, they speak Lao. And the question is, jackpot, without crop or ka. Really? Wow. Jackpot means tau rai. Interesting. See, there's so many different dialects, guys. I think a person's better off to learn like the central common Thai language, because even the people in Isan pretty much understand all of the, but then you can kind of perfect your speaking by adding the Isan, which is a Laotian. It's funny, you know, my wife went to Lao with me. She can understand everything that Lao people say. It's like the same language as Isan, but she couldn't read any of it. Totally different alphabet. Isn't that just bizarre? Like same spoken language, completely different written alphabet, completely different. It's amazing. The weather is overcast and beautiful. Like I think it's about 24 degrees this morning. Really nice. Nice. And, you know, we're entering our dry season, so chances of rain are really, really low now, although it can happen. But it'll be dry. Once you get past mid-November, you can pretty much count on dry weather for 4 or 5 months straight. Like no rain, no inclement weather, no strong winds. I mean, that's why it's the high season in Thailand. Not only is it cold in the northern hemispheres and people want to escape the cold weather and come to a tropical place, but the weather's just so consistent, man. Dry season is amazing. It's my favorite time of year. Favorite time of year. Yeah, I do need to get over there. Yeah, I've been over there to Maypim Beach, all of that area over there, East Rayong, east of Bonpei. Beautiful. We've been over there. I love it, love it, love it. And the beaches are, I'd say, comparable to Pala Beach in the Bonchang, you know. Beautiful beaches. The water's fine. It's clean. There's no problem. A lot of people get discouraged because we have the big Moptaput industrial area. I think the last actual accident spill they had was a long time ago, back in, I don't know, 2010 something, but you know, got cleaned up. But don't let that discourage you. All right, greetings and salutations from South Dakota. The pond has thawed, but next week, I bet, man, I can imagine that weather's changing in South Dakota like a roller coaster, right? Thank you for coming along, Timothy. Appreciate it, man. Been to South Dakota, took my whole family there. I've got 4 daughters back in the States. We went to the Black Hills and, of course, Mount Rushmore and all that. Beautiful state. Awesome people, too, man. Just J. It's respectful to any older women and you do not know their name. Ah, I didn't know that. See, there's always something to learn. I got to be honest, guys. I'm so lazy when it comes to language because, I use my wife as a crutch. But yeah. Nong, when you do not know their name. So if you say J, and if she's older than you could address her as PJ or Nong J. That's interesting. I never knew that. J, it's just respectful. Okay, awesome. And Nong, okay, Nong would be the nickname for younger if you don't know their name. That's interesting. He has Tesla, and he's working legally, correct, Barry? See, that's the thing that people don't understand. None of us would encourage you to work without a work permit as a teacher in Thailand. That's the difference, It's not either or, like you're advocating working illegally. No, that's not what we're doing. We're just trying to counteract the naysayers that say it's so difficult to teach English in Thailand. You got to have this, that, you got to have a degree. You got to blah, blah, blah. It's not difficult. Native English speakers, there's discretion within the labor law. There's discretion in the written law itself that says under university level. Now, when I was teaching for the academy, you would think absolutely required to have a degree, right? Because if you look at the different laws, but that relates to the non-B visa application in the law. So it's a different story, but I actually got somebody on at the academy, which university level, but you understand the English that you're teaching is never higher than, say, mid-school. I mean, you're teaching it as a second language. So you're not teaching university English, right? You're not doing 6-syllable words, teaching people, superfluities and vicissitudes and all of these, words that are only used at university level English, right? In a native, you're teaching English as a second language. So he was able to get a job at the university level with only a high school diploma and a TEFL. So, despite what the written law, it depends on the school, and the Ministry of Labor will normally defer to the school. And we didn't have to pay any tea money. There was no hidden fees or something like that, right? So I'm just saying it's doable, man. The best thing for you to do is contact the schools directly. Contact the director of the foreign language department. Every school has one, right? Foreign language department director. Contact them via email once you get their contact through the website ad or whatever, right? Or just start contacting schools directly. Start searching for schools in the province that you're interested in living in. And I almost guarantee you there's an availability for NES. Let's just say there's not a bunch of native English speakers beating on the doors of all these public government schools to get in and teach. It's the opposite, right? You may be the only native English speaker in a school with 1,500 students. It's common. There's a big void, guys. So it needs to be encouraged. It doesn't need to be discouraged. That's all we're saying. We're not saying come over here and work illegally and any geek off the street can teach English over here. I wish people would quit, inflating everything into that. There's just a common sense way. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm just speaking from my experience, not just in RAYONG. J. Okay. See, I never knew that. So I'll have to remember. So if you're talking to someone, you don't know their name and you want to be respectful and you want to address them with a title, you would say J. Like Kata, J, right? Kata would be like, excuse me, right? Kata, J, right? So you don't know them, but okay, that's good information. Thanks, guys. My wife told me it was more local to this area. Thanks for the info, right? So much to learn. I mean, I've been here 5 years now, guys, and I don't know anything. Thank you so much, Robert Mack. Appreciate it. Let me leave that up there for the guys that are watching the playback. We really do appreciate each and every subscriber here at Triple T YouTube channel. It's just a hobby for me, but it sure is rewarding when you get all this positive, encouraging feedback. I'm no expert, man. My editing skills kind of suck. But I enjoy the actual making of the video. Like some people say I enjoy the editing, right? I actually enjoy and try to capture, right? Capture the footage. So a lot of times I can upload something from my phone with very little editing if if I feel like I've done a good job of zooming in and out and not being shaky and trying to see what I'm doing through the eyes of the audience. So that's what I enjoy. I enjoy it. I had no experience. I've always had an interest in photography, you know, always had a love for it, right? Like when I see a photo or looking at art, you see what's been captured. I've always had a deep appreciation for it, never had time for it. And now I have time for it. And that's one of the benefits about being a vlogger, you know. And my early stuff was hard to watch. Bad Badger in the house. Good morning, young man. Yeah, young man. That's right. You guys hear that? Oh, yeah. So, Bad Badger's another great channel. Talk about experience with the islands. Clear your throat. Bad Badger's a diver, scuba diver, man. A lot of experience, knows a lot more about Thailand. And, that's the thing about the diversity amongst the YouTube vloggers over here. You got these guys that can give you the details, specifics of their experience. They're not, talking to you as lawyers or some agency you hired, right? They're just doing this stuff for free. They're sharing their experience, right? So you go to Bad Badger if you're interested in retirement. You're over 50 or older, and you're interested in retirement visa. I don't know. I've never done a retirement visa, right? I know it's similar to the same application as what I do, but I have to provide all these connection to my Thai wife, and there's a whole different process, right? So, go to guys, Bad Badger, right? Send him a private message. I'm sure he's got information on how to contact him or comment on one of his videos, right? And it's just there to help you, man, and there's no substitute for experience, whatever it is in the world, right? No substitute. I've always made the analogy. It's like when you're going somewhere. Hey, good morning. Good morning, 9 Maxim. Good morning. Everything is very, very good. Just another day in paradise. Love it. Love it in Thailand. But if you're driving to a destination for your first time, right? Let's say before Google Maps and all the smart devices, right? You're driving there, you got your map, you kind of did, it's difficult, right? Not easy to find it, right? And then make your way back out of there, right? Second time, much easier, but you still haven't got it down. Did I take a left before? Right? Third time, you got the experience, boom, you drive right in there, right? That's what I say. There's no substitute for experience. It doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are with your background of various things, your education or whatever, right? When you come to live abroad, it's a brand new experience, right? So there's no substitute for it. You can do all the research and all the mapping out you want to do. You're going to make a hell of a bunch of wrong turns because you don't have the experience. You go to these guys like Robert Mack, like Bad Badger, like, all these different people, the foreign bloke, Ross, and all of us have unique, different experiences, that will be helpful to you. I know, I wasn't even a YouTube consumer before I came to Thailand. I watched videos on YouTube, but I wasn't subscribed to any Thailand vloggers. I wish I would have been. Really, really do, man, because probably would have made my life a lot easier. I remember doing my first, visa run up to Laos to apply for my marriage visa. It was so freaking confusing and stressful. And then my first extension, you got a stack of 60-something pieces of papers that you're providing and all these photos. And it's like pulling your hair out with a little bit I have left, right? It's a freaking nightmare, just because I didn't have the experience. And I'm one of those stubborn-headed people that wants to do it himself, even though I had the money, just pass it off to somebody else. Like I went through the headache because I want to know. I want to learn. I want to know how to do it. I don't want to be dependent on somebody else, right? Not that there's nothing wrong with using an agency. More power to the people that do that. I know it's a lot less headache for have someone else that has experience do it for you, right? Yeah. Good morning. And Bad Badger had a bad back for a while. I think he's recovered some now. I agree, man. It's good to see, isn't it, Ross? It's good to see. Now, I've never done it. I've experienced some solicitations. Never done it. I just refuse, man. It's like, what paper do I need to correct? And I'll go do it and come back, right? But you can see what's up, right? But I got to say, Rayong, I have had zero problem. Rayong Immigration Office, I extended my visa this year during the lockdown, right? During the height of the emergency orders back in April. During Songkran. I get that a lot, Timothy. But trust me, it depends on each individual school. I don't think there's any exclusion. It may be more difficult. And when you look online, teachingthailand.com, you may see in the ads, they prefer people under 40 even, maybe in the ad. I would still submit a resume to them. Guys, it's a huge void for native English speakers. So, even if, obviously if you're not disabled, you're capable of, performing the job. I think that they would consider anybody. And I've had that question a lot. People 60 and over, like, oh, I can't get a job teaching. Yes, you can. And I've seen it. I got one good friend from the UK up in Isan that's like 65 now. He's been teaching, for several years. So you got to think like there's this high demand for native English speakers, right? And you can go in there, like they'll have all these, textbooks and Thai teachers teaching English classes, right? And you can be the person that takes over the conversational English class, right? You're the only native English speaker in the department. So you can really focus on the speaking and listening skills. It's so valuable. And the schools know that. The Thai public government's educational system knows that, right? So they're going to accommodate native English speakers in every way they can to get you on board. I guarantee you go, and I'm not talking just the most rural areas, but a lot of areas, there's schools that don't have any native English speakers. Now they've got, Filipinos or people from Cameroon or, they get whatever they can that are non-Thai that are in there teaching English that have obviously a lot more experience. India, for example, but they're not native. They may have a much better fluency in their country, but they're not native. But anyway, yeah, I had a great time at Rayong, man. I got to give them kudos. Kudos to Rayong Immigration. But I would encourage everybody, like during your process, okay, Robert, during your process of extending your visa or applying for, hello, Leslie. Happy morning. Happy. Glad you came along. It's just a good window into Thailand, even if you've never considered teaching before. It's just a great opportunity to change your tourist visa in the country, change status into a B visa. You've got that employment contract. You've got the preliminary paper from the Ministry of Labor, right? You get your final work permit after you get the visa, but you get some preliminary. So it's kind of working in conjunction, even though it's two separate entities. Unfortunately, from what I understand, a lot of Southeast Asian countries, your work permit and everything, all that is included in the immigration bureau, right? There's not a separate entity here. There's separate Ministry of Labor. But again, it's not difficult. And even if you only taught for a year or two, maybe it wasn't your thing, I think you would get some joy out of it. They're waking up, so they're going to be hollering at me. I guarantee you, they've got their stuff packed up, bags ready to go. So, same here. Yeah, exactly. We're smart enough to acknowledge what we don't know and try not to act like know-it-alls, but there is no substitute for experience. And all of us have different experiences here in Thailand. I think one of the things you find unique among long-stay expats here in Thailand, the ones that just live normal lives. Now, I'm not talking about the whiners and complainers that have no life here. I think that's a small minority, but most of it, especially in the YouTube world, we have one thing in common. Like, we chose Thailand and we did that for a reason. We came here a few times or whatever. Now, me, I came on a one-way ticket and just fell in love, so decided to stay. So anyway, we have that in common. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And Ross, didn't you find that when you really started enjoying Thailand is when you realized that it was within you, that there was something within you that wasn't allowing you to enjoy it as much? Like a lot of that is stubbornness, impatient, easily frustrated kind of thing, especially with the misunderstanding, not our native language, right? So it's like, it wasn't as sabai sabai. Like, say, for example, you took a boat trip down the Chao Phraya River in Bangkok, and you were a newbie. And you're like, well, where are we going next? Or what are we doing here? How long do we be at this temple? Or when do we get back on? You got all this who, where, what, when, why crap because that's who we are. And then I don't understand, right? It's like once you let go of that, it's hard to let go of your cultural ways. You've been raised that way for years, right? And it's abnormal to be that way here. You never want to be confrontational or loud. It's just you're showing your ass. Very much so. Yeah. We have a lot of Western traits that we all just grown accustomed to. Like when you go into a restaurant, and you expect really good service, and you're going to be crappy to the server if you don't get good service. Now, not everybody does that, but common, right? Hey, hey, where's my damn French fries or what? Right here, don't do that, man. It's like I say, you can't change Thailand, but Thailand can change you, right? So if you really want to have a good time and really begin to appreciate where you're at and grateful, that you're in this country, I think all of us are grateful that we were here when all this crap went down. Like, very much grateful that we were here. So it's incumbent upon us to kind of let go. Like, if you want to assimilate, guys, assimilate. Doesn't mean that you have to be perfect and learn all the language and you're going to be this best farong ever in Thailand. No, it just means you kind of got to let go of all that stubbornness, impatient, frustration, our natural reactions, right? If you really want to enjoy yourself and show respect, then, you know, and it took me, I know, at least a couple of years, really, honestly, before I started getting it. I remember being at the store going, I don't understand why I don't sell a set of sheets. I want a fitted sheet and I want a top sheet, right? In America, like we have top sheets. And then the lady was like, but sir, you're not in America. And I was just like, ah. It's like one little thing like that really made me reflect. It's like, why was I talking to her like that? Why was I saying what America does? What the hell am I doing? She summed it up. You're not in America, sir. You're in Thailand. Thai people don't sleep with top sheets, right? You want top sheets, you're going to special order. But you know what I mean? I was frustrated, and there was many things like that were bothering me, for the first couple years. And it wasn't that somebody was doing me wrong, or it was me. It's like I was expecting things to work the way they worked back in my home. It doesn't work like that here. So how does it benefit you? It doesn't benefit you to hang on to our old cultural stubborn ass ways. They really are, Ross. Thanks for saying that, man. Kudos to those people. Right during the pandemic, had all the queues outside. It was very, very professional. Right? Yeah, yeah. That's very, very nice of them to do, right? That's been my experience up there too, man. They really want to help you. They really do. Really good job. And then the 90-day reports, I still haven't done the online thing because I'm 10 minutes from the immigration office here in Ban Chong. So it's easy for me. But the 90-day reports, that fast. Like you pull the number, there's other people waiting for all kinds of crap. Like before I could even get set down, they call my number and there's a whole separate window. You go up, there's your passport. They take your old one out, look you up on the computer, print it off, put it back in. Thank you. Have a great day. I was literally less than 5 minutes on the 90-day report. And then, see, I've been there for other stuff too. Had to go get like the address certification because I don't have the yellow book or anything. So when you're making purchases, you want a motorcycle in your name or whatever you're doing, right? You need that address. That's done through the immigration. Boom. That was easy too. It's like a separate office that does the address verification. But you need a couple of passport photos, right? And then they give you 2 original copies. So, and they're good for like 60 days. You can use that for a purchase of a vehicle, or getting your driver's license. You need to prove your address, right? They just do so many things very, very well in Rayon. Yeah. Well, each channel is unique, but what I'm saying is, over and above the content that you see on the channel, there's a person there, right? And that person's willing to help you with the experience they have. So that, to me, it's like, look, even if you're not digging watching YouTube videos, like even if you're not a big consumer of YouTube, man, I wish I knew then what I know now, right? I wish I knew all these people were out there, free information, free experience. Kapkon crap, kapkon crap. Yeah, exactly. It's learning the Thai people and their ways. Yeah, it varies from school to school, and that's why I say contact the schools badger. But I know that you can get job placement as a native English speaker with a high school diploma equivalent and a certification, TEFL or TESOL or CELTA, right? I know it's possible. I'm not saying it's going to work everywhere. And you can actually, look, sometimes you have to educate the schools. You got to figure, how many times does a school put a native English speaker on board? Probably not that many. And is there anybody in the department, in the clerical administrative department, that knows how to do the application process of the Ministry of Labor and all that stuff? So it helps to have experience, right? I could help. Like if somebody was like, hey, the school's telling me they don't know how to do this, I would be happy to help, free of charge. Like sometimes you have to educate the schools too. Uh, Trust me. And when I went to Nakhon Nayok, when I moved there and went to the Ministry of Labor and was getting a new work permit, right? Had a work permit in the past. And first thing, I showed them my passport. They looked and saw I had a non-O visa. And the head guy of the Ministry of Labor in Nakhon Nayok was like, oh, no, you have to change to a B visa. Was the first thing out of his mouth, right? Why did he say that? Because every time he had issued a work permit in his office there in Nakhon Nayok, it was a B visa application, right? In conjunction with the IB. So he didn't have any experience with anybody on a non-O that was working. And I was like, no, sir, being respectful, that's not correct. I've had a work permit before. You're not prohibited from work on a non-O family visa, right? Not a non-OA, not a retirement visa, right? Because my visa says legally married to a Thai, right? The retirement visa in Thai says prohibited from employment, right? So mine says legally married to a Thai, right? So he had to actually call down to Chiang Watana, the Ministry of Labor headquarters, or wherever it was in Bangkok, and they told him, yeah, you can process the work permit on a non-O visa. So, it depends on the local office and the experience. And a lot of these schools don't have much experience in the onboarding process. So there are provisions within the law. You can look it up. There's a separate provision on a B visa application requirements, right? For teaching, specifically teaching. And there's university level and above, and then there's under university level, and there's specific language in there about not NES, high school diploma. It says diploma, NES, diploma, and certification. Above university, it says degree, right? So it's actually language in the law. A lot of people are not familiar with it, and then there's a lot of discretion. But mostly it's just legwork, and the schools that don't have the experience. Oh, see, here we go. Barry also taught in Cambodia. They were paying $10 USA per hour back then. That was great pay. Absolutely. I bet they are, man. They bet they are. And see, guys, these are your options. Like a lot of people want to live the dream. Why do we say live the dream? Because we dreamed of what we're doing now back in our home country. We dreamed of it, for years. Like, man, I just want to get away. I want to live in a tropical country where it never gets cold and, blah, 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 right? And as a younger person, you're not eligible to retire, right? You need an income in order to do that. You don't have a pension yet, right? So you need an income. So this is a window, and there's a huge void. And Barry's talking about the same thing in Cambodia. They need native English speakers, and if you get with the schools and if they don't have the experience, just remember, don't be the way we are. Don't be, insistent or, aggressive in telling the school, no, 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 that's not true. I know this. Just, sabai sabai, chill out, relax, right? Do it that way and approach it in a very calm. You got to have so much patience in Thailand. That's one thing that's really improved me. It's made me a better man. I wasn't ever very good at being patient, and you have to be here. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Subscribe to Bad Badger if you haven't subscribed to Bad Badger. And play those videos. Turn the sound down and play his videos at night when you go to bed. We got to get his view hours up. Okay. Yeah. I think everybody is going to agree with that, Bad Badger. I don't to a person in Thailand. Like, man, they did such a great job, and of course there was lockdowns, and we couldn't go to the beaches, and you couldn't gather in groups larger than 10, and there was necessary things that had to be done. But we just feel, I don't know, Thai people are so non-confrontational that you know like there was never any panic buying really in my area. I did see some of it in some of the Bangkok areas, but you got to figure the population of Bangkok's like 12 million, massive city, right? Yeah, it's so easy, in and out, absolutely. All right, guys, I think I'm about caught up. Been rambling for a while. Appreciate you guys coming in. I think they are moving to online. There for a while, a lot of the online application for your 90-day report, you're just reporting that you're at the same address or whatever, was in Thai. So they had to get everything updated to have the system in English. I don't have experience in that yet, so I can't speak to it. But I think you're right. They're moving to that. I mean, let's think about it. That's a lot less people that are coming into the office every day, and all they're doing is saying, "Hey, I'm still in the same address," right? Which is, I mean, it's good. A lot of people think it's intrusive. I don't feel like it's intrusive. Look, if I wish that my home country had that good of an idea of all the people, that were immigrants, on a temporary stay or whatever in the country. Like they had to report you. They moved. There was a form. Like we have, what is it, TM28? When you move, change of address form, or even if you haven't moved, you still got to check in, right? I think it's just good. I think it's good. If you're living by their laws and doing everything legal, why would you care that they want to keep track of where you're at? It's just a good functioning system. But everything is really, really upgrading online compared to where it was even 5 years ago when I started out. Like they used to handwrite the next time you had to come in for your 90-day report, like just a handwritten form. It took quite a while, usually long queues and stuff. And now it's all a computer. They just print it out, automatically shows your next day of reporting, right? So it's much easier. Everything, all of us are in the computer system. I know everything I've ever done in Thailand's on the computer now. Absolutely. There's a file on you. So yeah, I've never done the online stuff either, Badger. But I think you're right, though. I think it is moving that. Maybe things are changing. Yes, they do. I think more simplified is. You also need to make sure you do it a Thai phone. Good advice, Ross. Yeah, things are changing. But despite the arduous process of your extensions every year and everything, I think it's overblown when a lot of these people say Thailand doesn't want foreigners anymore and all that. Look, guys, that's just not the case. I mean, they absolutely want you. Just want you to meet the requirements, right? Want you to be able to sustain yourself. There's insurance requirements for retirement visas and stuff like that. Changes have been made, but I don't think in any way that adds up to we don't want people to move to Thailand anymore. I don't feel that at all. I feel like it's still very welcoming. Yeah. A lot of people are doing the online thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, let's face it, there's a lot of digital nomads that travel the world, and it would be preposterous to think that every time they come into a country for whatever period of time and they got their online profession, that they need to go down and apply for, work permits and stuff. That the Ministry of Labor in Thailand and the whole work permit requirements is designed to protect Thai people's jobs. You got to understand that's it. The enforcement of the laws, the labor laws in Thailand, all designed to protect Thai people's jobs. So when you got low skilled people coming from neighboring countries coming over and taking jobs away from Thai, you know, that's why you see a lot of those Myanmar people, and they use agencies. You've probably seen them. I've seen them at the immigration office. The agent comes in, got big stacks of applications with all the different passports, right? And they're getting those workers legal, right? Crucial, man, crucial. Why are they doing that, right? Because they know all of them would be booted out. Like the enforcement is going and visiting these places of employment, and whether it's a school and making sure the teachers are legal, or whether it's a factory or farm production, whatever it is, that's the enforcement. They're going out, right? They're not going to go to people's hotel rooms and houses and say, "Hey, I heard you're a traveler working online and you didn't." I mean, not that the law wouldn't technically apply to any type of employment. I'm not saying that it wouldn't, but you have to look at the enforcement part. They're really, really busy guys out there enforcing, protecting Thai people's jobs. That's what it's all about. So, you're a native English speaker, doing something online. How are you taking a job away from a Thai? You're not, right? One of the qualifications of the job is a native English speaker. So think of that when you're teaching. So that's why it's much easier for it to get the work permit and all that stuff, because you're not taking a job from a Thai. A Thai cannot take that position because one of the requirements is they're looking for a native English speaker, right? And Thais may be bilingual and fluent and a master's degree in English. They're not native English speakers, right? So let's be realistic and not discourage people from at least attempting. And I always say, don't take my word for it. Don't take anybody else's word for it. Go to the online portals. Look at the actual schools ads. You can get on board through agencies too. I haven't had good reports on that, but I'm sure there are good job placement agencies too, if you don't want the headache, and then they take care of your work permit and your B visa. So, do your research and submit your resume, whatever educational background you have, submit that. And if you've got people saying, yeah, we can get you on board, we can get your B visa for long stay, we can get your work permit, we can even provide housing. So you got all that information before you even come here. And then you arrive on your tourist visa and you can change that to the B visa within Thailand. So there's no requirement to leave, right? To get converted into a B visa. So I'm telling you, this is the reality on the ground. There's a huge void for native English speakers. And then there's other possibilities for employment here too that are not related to teachers. I mean, there's a lot of people here in Bon Chang that have, foreign owned businesses. Sure, they have Thai partners that are majority owners or whatever. There's also the amity program that Americans can be, a 100% owner of your corporation. It requires a lot more capital and funds in the bank, but it's definitely possible to do that too. So I would encourage people to make the leap, like especially the younger people that are not ready to retire, but they want to experiment. They want to live that dream. They want to go try it. They want to go move to a tropical country and try it, see if it's for them. Of course, it's lower salary, but you got lower cost of living, and you're not living the fast-paced rat race, right? And it never gets cold, so you're living in a tropical country. You got all these amazing beaches and other things that you can go see and do, right? Very cheaply to travel domestically around Southeast Asia. So it's just a great opportunity. So I really appreciate you guys coming into live stream and gearing the conversation. Thanks to all of you mods. And thanks to all of you other YouTubers. Ross and RAYONG was here today with a lot of great information. Bad Badger, Robert Mack, Mr. Mitch, all of you guys, I appreciate you. The Foreign Bloke was here today. So many great people, great comments. I think useful information. But if I could just close with this, you can't change Thailand. Not going to happen, guys, right? The capital of Sukhothai up in Lana, the original kingdom of Thailand goes back, 1,000 years. I mean, they've never been colonized. It's an independent, sovereign nation. They don't want to change. They don't want to become the multicultural melting pot of the rest of the world. They want to remain uniquely Thai. That's why they have all these protections of buying property and the way you can do business here and their labor laws. So look at it as, look, I don't want Thailand to change either, man. You start making all these changes, Thailand won't be the same, right? Obviously, it's changing, but it's still remaining uniquely Thai. You'll never be Thai. Thai citizens should have more advantage than you do. It's their country, right? I say keep it that way, man. Keep it that way. Don't bring your multicultural, way of thinking here and think it's going to work. It's not going to work here. So you can't change Thailand. Thailand can change you. And I think for the better, you become more humble, a better person. You can speak, even if you get really good at Thai, you can speak like a 4-year-old, right? So that's pretty humbling. So no matter your level of education, your experience in the world, you can't communicate, right, on a advanced level. So we don't know all the intricate details of what's going on in Thailand. That's why I don't like to discuss political or any other current events that involve their internal politics and what the Thai people want for their future. That's their business. Why would I comment on that? I have nothing but respect for both sides. All right. So it's not, I can't understand the intricacies of it. There's no possible way. We get little pieces of news filtered into English, like you get, Fabulous 103 out of Pattaya. You got the Tiger. You got these different sites that are English Thai news, right? It's just a small fraction of actually the details of what's going on. So, it's hard to opine in an educated manner if you don't speak that native language. Thanks for that, Mr. Mitch. Did you put Bad Badger up there as well? I think you did. Thank all of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, that would be my thing, man. You can't change Thailand. I think that speaks for all of Southeast Asia. Barry was talking about Cambodia, his experience there. You got to be able to, change yourself when you get here and kind of do things their way, right? When in Rome, as they say. And Thailand is very unique, and I love it. And thank you guys all for coming. You can't change Thailand. Thailand can change you for the better. Be a better person. I've learned so much about myself and my own problems, right? My own vicissitudes that I needed to overcome just by living here and finally embracing the way of life and realizing, wow, I feel much better now that I let go of all that impatient, stubborn, overreaction, loud talking, aggressive, road rage, all the little daily things that are common in our home countries. You're going to stick out like a sore thumb here, and you're not going to make yourself look good, right? So embrace it, man. Embrace it, because it's really a better lifestyle. I think Bad Badger said, we have these expectations of service. Like when we go into a restaurant, we expect the meals to come out hot together. We have all of these. That's one small example, right? And Badger's like, yeah, that's right. It's the same in the UK. Pretty much all Western countries, we have this standard. But it doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's right. It really doesn't. Just because it's what we know and what we expect doesn't make it right. So the fact that my wife gets her meal 5 or 10 minutes before I do, and I'm going to be the ass and complain about it? No. That wouldn't be right? It's sabai. Take your time. Slow down. It makes you slow down. It makes you enjoy the things, right? So I appreciate all you guys. Oh, Blanchard Bees. Hey. Yeah, all right. Thank you for coming in, Blanchard. Cheers to Iowa. I hope you killed a big, huge buck this year. Yeah, I got to go. We're going to the beach, so I've got all the devices charged. I'll bring you some live stream footage from the beach later if you guys want to tune into that, right? So peace and love to everyone, man. Thank you for coming to Triple T. We really appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching this on the playback or live, please subscribe. Doesn't cost you a penny, and it sure helps the channel get brought to a broader audience. All right, guys. Thank you, man. Triple T signing out.